It happens in a flash. A slip of a kitchen knife, a bad fall, and suddenly you can't move your finger the way you should. If you're here, chances are you're at the start of a journey you never planned on taking. So, okay, let's dive into what's going on, and more importantly, how you get back on your feet.
It really all starts with a simple question, right? We all know that our muscles are what move our bones. But how does a muscle way up in your forearm actually make your fingertip curl into a fist? What's the thing that connects them?
Well, the answer is the flexor tendon. And the best way to think about it, and this is a great analogy, is to picture a puppet string. It's this incredibly strong, smooth cord. Your muscle pulls the string, and just like that, your finger bends. It's a really simple but kind of brilliant piece of engineering. Okay, so a snap in the system, or really just understanding your injury. So what happens when that puppet string we just talked about gets cut? Well, that's the heart of the problem. The connection is just gone. No matter how hard that muscle pulls, the finger just isn't going to bend.
And this probably looks pretty familiar to you right now. On the left, we've got the symptoms. That's what you feel. The fact that you just can't bend your finger, the pain when you try. Maybe you even remember a distinct snapping feeling when it happened. And on the right, that's what a doctor sees. The clinical signs that confirm it, like how the finger is sitting in a weird straight position even when you're relaxed. It's so important to see that what you're feeling is directly backed up by the physical evidence.
Now, some signs are more than just signs. They are absolute red flags. If you're dealing with any of these, especially any numbness or if you have a deep cut, that is a crystal clear signal that you need to get urgent medical help. This is not a wait and see kind of situation. Okay, so you're in the doctor's office. How do they actually confirm what's going on? You might be relieved to know it's a pretty direct process. Believe it or not, the most important step is just a really careful, hands-on physical exam. A specialist can test each one of your fingers, one by one, to figure out exactly which tendon is injured. The diagnosis is all about function, or in this case, the lack of it.
Now, while that physical exam is key, your doctor might order a couple of other tests. An X-ray isn't actually looking for the tendon itself. What it is looking for are things like broken bones or maybe a little piece of glass hiding in there. And things like an ultrasound or an MRI, those might get used in the less common cases where there isn't an open cut, but the doctor still suspects a tear.
All right, so the diagnosis is in. What's next? Let's talk about reconnecting that tendon, which is the whole goal of your surgery. Here is the most crucial point. These injuries absolutely do not heal on their own. The two ends of that cut cord are just too far apart. That means surgery is the only way to restore that connection.
The surgery itself really breaks down into 3 key steps. First, the surgeon has to carefully go in and find both ends of that tendon. Second, they use these very specific, very strong stitching techniques to bring those ends back together. And third, and this is so important, your hand gets placed in a protective splint. Let me tell you, that splint is going to be your absolute best friend for the next few weeks because its whole job is to protect that very delicate repair. And that brings us perfectly to the next phase, which is without a doubt the most important part of this whole process. We're on the path to recovery now. And I love this subtitle, Your Most Important Role. Because look, the surgery's done, the connection's been reestablished. But now the real work begins. And the person with the most important role in all of this? Yeah, it's you. I really want you to take this in. Your recovery is a marathon, not a sprint. Just look at this timeline. Therapy starts almost right away, just days after surgery. But, and this is a big but, it's very specific passive motion. You won't actually be bending that finger on your own for more than a month. And strengthening, that doesn't even start for about 3 months. Patience is absolutely everything here. Okay, if you only take away one single thing from this whole explainer, please let it be this. This isn't just a nice opinion. It is the fundamental truth of this recovery. I mean, the best surgeon in the world can do a perfect repair, but the final outcome, how well your hand works in the end, that depends almost completely on your commitment to the therapy protocol. So what is your job then? In the simplest possible terms, it's this: protect the repair. That's it. The stitches holding that tendon together are strong, but they are not invincible. They need time for your body to heal around them, and your job is to create the perfect, safe environment for that healing to happen. So what does protecting the repair actually look like in real life? It comes down to these absolute, non-negotiable do's. The splint, it stays on at all times. You keep your hand elevated above your heart to keep swelling down. You go to every single therapy appointment, and you follow those home exercises to the absolute letter. These are the things that actively help you heal. Now, for the other side of that coin, just as important as everything you do is everything you absolutely must not do. And this list is just as critical. I mean it. No gripping, no lifting, no pushing. I don't care if you think it's light. Any active use of that finger muscle could literally pull the repair apart. This is exactly why you cannot try to bend your finger on your own or take that splint off. Resisting these urges is how you protect your surgery. So, let's say you've done it. You've protected the repair, you've gone to therapy, you've followed all the rules. What does the future actually look like? This is all about setting clear and realistic expectations. The goal here is a return to good, meaningful, functional use of your hand. It's not necessarily about getting back to 100% of your original motion. Full healing takes many, many months. And honestly, it's very common to have a little bit of permanent stiffness, even with a perfect surgery. Success means you can use your hand again for the things you love and need to do every day. But here is the really encouraging part. For patients who are all in, the ones who are completely compliant with their splint and their therapy, the success rates for getting that good, functional hand back are very high. We're talking between 70 and 90%. Your dedication directly translates into a successful result. So in the end, it all comes down to these three things: patience to get through that long timeline, protection of that surgical repair by avoiding all those risky activities, and strict, absolute adherence to your hand therapy program. Those are the pillars of your recovery. And that just leaves us with one final thought. This journey can feel long, frustrating, and slow, but every single day that you follow the protocol, every exercise you do correctly, every moment you resist that urge to just use your hand a little, you are actively building your future. The commitment you make today is what will decide how well your hand will serve you for the rest of your life.